Hey, Errol here again. Okay, today we're going to have a little bit of a chat about the fundamental differences between the jumping castles. You obviously can see the differences with these guys. The basic difference of these, obvious. This one's open front, this one's fully enclosed in the front, but it's just got a little gap there for the guys to get it in and out. Now, there's pros and cons of both, and depending on the operator, some operators love these fellows. These have been around like this a lot longer than this. This is kind of a new thing where they're fully enclosed with the netting around the outside. The main difference is, we'll come in and have a look inside. Another one of the differences with them is this wall is fully inflatable. So it's like the floor, it's inflated like that, so the kids can bounce off it like that. Now, a couple of negatives with that. A, that's more vinyl, so that makes this much heavier. So when it's rolled up, it's heavier than these guys because we're dealing with more vinyl. The other thing is, with more vinyl, is more stitching. So more stitching, that means you've got more areas where you can have problems with it. The other negative with it is that kids can go like this, like they're in the boxing ring, and as they turn and bounce like that, their friend is here, and bang, they clash heads. So I've seen a few loose teeth and a few bloody noses and things simply from that, a clash of kids, one bouncing off there and going against like that. Which is, on the other type, with this type of mesh right around, you don't have that problem. But there is a negative with the mesh, and I'll show you when we get over there. Now, this is another feature of some jumping castles. These are what they call the toys that inflate out of the bottom. Now these are great fun for the kids, but the same problem is that they do offer the kids that opportunity to blindside each other and come together and smack together. Now, generally injuries in a jumping castle are mostly from the kids running into each other, a bit like football. So, if you've got things like this, the kids tend to want to run at this and hit it, and if they miss it, they hit the other child, somebody gets hurt. The other issue with these guys is around here, same problem. These are high wear and tear area around here. This one's been particularly well made, which is good to see. But around here, this is where they like to let go. And obviously once that let go, then we're going to have a problem with the air coming through it. And that's a real issue. You can see already here, just take a close up of that one there, and you'll see that that stitching is already starting to let go. Luckily for this, that's just the reinforcing for this guy here. So we've got a fair way to go before this is going to be a problem. But compared to the seam saver here, these guys don't have a seam saver on them. Sometimes they also let go here and even up the top. And although you might think, well, that's not a big issue, it really is, because how are you going to sew that up? What are you going to do with it? Apart from stitching it by hand or gluing it up, it's really hard to repair, inexpensive. So even a small tear around here or the stitching letting go, it's going to give you some real problems. So if you're looking at second-hand ones, keep an eye out for these guys. These guys can give you some real grief, that's for sure. Alright, well, we'll go and have a look in the other one and show you the netting walls. Climb on inside here. Now this fellow here, it's not obviously not inflated, so you don't have that problem. The kids can run on here and then they don't have the velocity to hit the other kids on the way back. The negative with these is if you have about 3 or 4 or 5 12-year-old kids that are as big as me and they all lean on here, all of a sudden it starts to come down. Now that's not going to hurt them, nobody's going to get injured, but if you have this on hire in the backyard and there's nobody else around, the people who hired it may get a little bit frightened for the kids' safety. So it's an issue that they've got unsettled and they've got sort of a little bit emotional about it. There's really not an issue, but that's just something to keep in mind. And that's something to keep in mind when you've got bigger kids, which is why most of these ones with the netting on them, you definitely wouldn't want to hire them for teenagers or adults or anything like that. They're really not built for, you know, the kids of that age. They're built for smaller children, very safe. The kids can't fall, they can't get out. They have to climb down there through the archway, so they have to take it steady on their way out, so they don't skip and bounce and land on their head coming out and causing injuries. So that's some fundamental differences between jumping castles. There's also a lot of other different styles on the market these days, but generally that's the main difference between them, is whether they've got the mesh walls, the inflatable walls, or open and close at the front. Alright, till next time, cheers.